to how do we get it passed? All right, I think I can share my screen, which I'm going to try to do here. Because I want you all to be familiar. Some of you will have seen this. Some of you were with me before. This is the legislativemap.org, legmap.org. And as you can see, I've highlighted here Senator Eldridge's district, which is drawn in blue. And Senator Eldridge has a delegation. A delegation means people that all have something in common. So what they have in common here is that they share a senator. So you can see Representative Dykema is in the south. And up here, if you click in the north, you can see Representative Sena. And you can click and find for each senator, who are all of the representatives in their delegation. So what I would recommend that you do is that you use the model that Jamie Eldridge has presented here. And you have colleagues in your coalition all across the Commonwealth. And they have senators. And you should reach out to those senators and say, help us educate your delegation about this bill. All right. Now, another thing you want to know is who are the decision makers on the bill at any given time. Oh, that's another bill. Sorry, guys. I got a lot going on here. Here we are. Here's our bill. So if you go to malegislature.gov, you probably know that you can just type in the name of the bill in the search and it'll pop up. And there's myself and Representative Eiderhoven, who have filed this bill together. But you can also click on the Joint Committee on Education. And you can see who are the members. And you want to make sure that you're reaching out to all of those members, because at some point in the fall, this bill is going to come forward for a hearing, and you're all going to testify at that hearing. But when you testify, you don't want that to be the first time that these members have heard about the bill. Now, when you're talking to members of the committee before they've heard about the bill, you're not necessarily asking them with the same kind of passion that you are when they have a deadline in front of them, because legislators are much like students in that we work hardest on the things that we have a deadline for, right? And I've done a lot of school, and so I know how that works. And it's really similar as a legislator. So imagine if you have a final exam coming up 3 months from now, and one of your colleagues, one of your peers is asking you about a question on the final exam when you have a different test entirely that's tomorrow. So that's how you want to understand the legislators. They have things they're thinking about that are today, due, and then things that are in the future. So things that are in the future, legislators want to learn about them. They want to understand the pros and cons, and they want to know who in their district cares about it. And so that's what you're going to be trying to show them when you email them, when you call them. Of course, you want to say your story and share stories like we've shared today of why this is so important and so powerful. But you also want to ask them questions that engage them. Have you ever had experiences like this? Have you heard of anything like this from your other constituents? You want to get these legislators thinking. And then at the end, you always want to make an ask. And at this phase, the ask is, we hope you will sign on and support the bill. And actually, many of the people on this committee have done so. But you want to say, we hope you'll sign on and support the bill. But we also hope that you'll tell the chair and the vice chair that you would like this bill to be reported out favorably. So that's the phrasing. Some of you already know, you all need to learn that phrase. Please report this bill out favorably. If you have any questions about the bill, let me know, and our coalition will get those answers to you. They're going to be super impressed by a 50-year-old that does that, but they're going to be super duper impressed by a 16-year-old that makes those statements to them. And the top thing you want to remember is it's not just important who you're talking to, but who is talking to them. Even though each of these people are on this committee, which is the Committee on Education, the Joint Committee on Education, and fortunately, we have the Senate Chair as one of the filers, so that's going to be a big bonus for us. They also are representatives of 40 to 45,000 people here. And what is it, senators? Like 200,000 people that you guys represent or more? And so if you can bring people to talk to them, or even to their staff. Don't feel shunned when you're talking to staff. Staff are amazing. When you can send people to talk to them that come from their district, and how are you going to know that? Because you're going to look at the leg map, and then you're going to be able to say, okay, for this senator, we know people that live in this area. You can pop in addresses and everything like that. So there's a lot that you can do to make the groundwork strong, so that when the hearing happens, you want three things to have already taken place. You want legislators to have decided to come and testify at the hearing because they've heard from you. You want the members of the committee to have already heard from lots of constituents as well as other legislators. And you want the bill being reported out favorably to be the beginning and not the end of the bill. So I don't personally think we're going to have any trouble getting this bill reported out favorably. So some of the work that you're doing right now is to make sure that we can get a unanimous vote in the House and the Senate to get this bill over the line. Because as soon as the hearing happens, what you're going to start doing, and what Jason and Erica and I are going to start doing, we're going to start counting our votes. We're going to find out how many people have you told us. So please give us your reports when you have these conversations on what the legislators are saying to you. How many voters have you got? It's just like trying to win an election, but with a bill. And so you have a vote number that you need. You need 20 plus one in the Senate, 21 to get it passed. And you need 80 plus one in the House, because we have 160 people. That's 50% plus one. But we want it to be veto proof, which is 107 in the House, okay? And we also want the governor to support it, and we want it to be unanimous. So you write down every single representative and every single Senate member in a spreadsheet. We can give you the spreadsheet, actually. And you want to check off how many you've talked to and whether they're supportive or not. And that way we can say to the Senate president and to the Speaker of the House, we already have the votes, and we would like you to bring this to the floor for a vote. And as you know, the Speaker of the House, many of you know, is a former educator. And he's talked to me very many times about his memories educating young people and the pains in his heart about the inequities that they were experiencing. I think it was like 30 or 40 years ago. This is an argument that resonates with him, and he wants to help us. So make sure he knows how hard you've been working. Make sure we know how many senators and reps you've been talking to, so we can report that back to them. Oh, the coalition has talked to 86 representatives and senators, and they've all been favorable, right? That's as important as having those co-sponsors on the page, because they trust and believe us. So we're really proud of everybody on the call. We're really excited about your leadership. And I think we're really going to get this over the line, but I hope we can do it unanimously with your help.